Hello everyone! Today we will compare 2 to 3 digit numbers using less than, greater than, and equal to with place value this. So let's get started. But first, let's take a look of all the symbols that we're going to use today in comparing numbers. Here we go. This is the greater than symbol. We use this symbol when one number is greater than another. That means one number has a higher value than another. This one is the less than symbol. We're using this symbol when a number we're comparing to is less than or has a lower value than another number. The last one is the equal to. We use this symbol when two numbers are equal or equivalent. That means they have the same value. Now, let's start by representing the numbers 174 and 74. And after that, we're going to compare which number is greater, 174 or 74. Here we go, 174. Let's model 174. 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 171, 172, 173, 174. 174 has 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 tens, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 ones. Now let's move on to number 74. 74 has 7 tens and 4 ones. Here we go. Let's model it. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71, 72, 73, and 74. Now let's start comparing. Which number is greater? Is it 174 or 74? What do you notice? Take a look at our place value chart. Right. 174 has 100, but 74 doesn't have any 100. So, we could say that 174 is greater than 74. 174 is greater than 74. This is how we read it. Now, what symbol are we going to use to compare 174 to 74? Are we going to use this, the greater than, less than, or equal to? Correct. We're going to use this symbol. Let's write it down in the circle at the middle. So, 174 is greater than 74. Remember, boys and girls, in comparing numbers, we should take a look at the largest unit. And this time, we have the hundreds, which is the largest unit. Another one. It says here, which number is less, 105 or 135? Let's model 105 using our place value disk. Here we go. 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105. Now let's move on to 135. 100, 110, 120, 130, 131, 132, 133, 134, 135. Now we're ready to compare 105 to 135. What do you notice? Remember, we have to start comparing by looking at the 100 units or the largest unit. Okay? Right, what do you notice? Right, they both have 100, but the 105 doesn't have any tens, right? And when we move on to 135, you could see that there are 3 tens, which is worth 30. 10, 20, 30. Now, we could say that 105 is less than 135. They both have 100. 105 doesn't have any tens, but 135 has 3 tens. So 105 is less than 135. Now let's find out what is the symbol that we're going to use to compare this number. Are we going to use greater than, less than, or equal to? Right, we're going to use this symbol less than and put it here in the middle. We could say that 105 is less than 135. I have 472, 274, and 724. We're going to represent this number with our place value disk. Let's start with 472. Here we go. There you go. 472. I model 472 by drawing 4 groups of 100, 7 groups of 10s, and 2 ones. 472. Now let's take a look at 274. 274 has 2 groups of 100, 7 groups of 10s, and 4 ones. 274. Let's move on to 724. 724 has 7 groups of hundreds, 2 groups of tens, and 4 ones. 724. Now, we're going to use this number that we just represented and answer some questions. Here is the first question. Which number is greatest? Remember, by comparing numbers, we have to take a look at the largest unit. And this time, the largest unit that we have is the 100. So let's take a look at the hundreds place. Here we go. We've got 400 in 472. 200s in 274. And 700s in 724. Now, which number is greatest? Right! Automatically, 724 is the greatest number. 724 has the greatest value. Okay? Now, here is the other question. Which number is least? We are left with 472 and 274 because we know that the greatest number here is 724. Now, let's compare 472 and 274. Which is less? We know that 472 has 400 and 274 has only 200. So basically, 274 is the least number here. It has the least value than the 472. So we would say that 274 is less than 472. Let's answer one more question. Here we go. Write the numbers in order from least to greatest. We already know that the number 274 has the least value of all because 274 has only 200. It has the fewest groups of 100. So I am going to write down 274 here in the first blank because it has the least value. All right, now we're left with 472 and 724. Now we're going to compare these two. Which do you think is the next smallest number? Would it be 472 or 724? Take a look at the hundreds unit. 472 has 4 hundreds and 724 has 7 hundreds. So automatically, the next smallest number is 472. And the largest or the greatest number that has the greatest value is 724. So from least to greatest, from 200 to 274, going to 472 up to 724. Remember, we can compare numbers by looking at the units starting at the largest unit. That is 100. All right? Now let's do some more practice. Let's read this together. It says here, use the symbols less than, greater than, and equal to compare the numbers. Now we have here 241 and 281. We're comparing 241 to 281. the circle here in the middle, we're going to put or we're going to write the symbols that makes this statement true. All right, let's do this. We know that 241 and 281 has two hundreds. They are equivalent. They're equal. Now, we can move on to the next smallest unit, which is the tens. Let's take a look at the tens place here. 241 has 4 tens and 281 has 8 tens. So, we could say that if 241 has 4 tens and 281 has 8 tens, we would say that 241 is less than 281. 241 has the least value compared to 281. All right, now let's move on to the next one. It says here, 703 is blank 703. What did you notice, boys and girls? Right, 703 is written in word form. So we could write 703 in a different form. Remember when we represented numbers in different form, in word form, unit form, standard form? So we could, or expanded form, right? So we could write 703 in standard form. Here we go. This is how we write 703 in standard form. Now we are ready to compare 703 to 703. What are we going to use? What symbol? Are we going to use less than, greater than, or equal to? Right, we would say that 703 is equal to 703. They have the same value. All right? Now, let's move on to 300 plus 60 is blank to 306. Did you notice that the 300 plus 60 is written in expanded form? Now, we can write this in standard form. This is how we write it down. Or we could say that 300 plus 60 is equals to 360. So, we are ready to compare now. 360 is blank 306. Less than, greater than, or equal to. Good job! 360 is greater than 306. 360 has the greatest value compared to 306. Whew! We're done, boys and girls! Remember, here are the symbols that we need to use in comparing numbers. Here is the greater than, less than, and equal to.